Hi everyone. As we know, studying the IB diploma program is a great choice to increase your chances at acceptance into some of the world's best universities. I'm sure you're also well aware too that scoring well on the SAT is also a great opportunity that can see you land in your dream school, studying exactly what you want. So they're both valuable and important. But can studying the IB actually help you succeed on the SAT? Hey everyone, I'm Monsieur Valois, and welcome to the SATLAS channel. Today, I'm going to be explaining how studying the IB curriculum can actually help you prepare and succeed on your SAT. Here are the topics I'll be reviewing. Number 1, basics of the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. Number 2, similarities between the IB and the SAT and advantages for IB students. And number 3, a few disadvantages for the IB students. Let's start with the basics of the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. The IB is centered on a mission statement and a learner profile that includes 10 attributes that it wants to develop in its learners, including but not limited to inquirers, open-mindedness, risk takers, reflective, just to name a few. Development of these attributes occurs as students study subject matter over 2 years from 6 broad academic areas, including languages, mathematics, sciences, and the arts. Also, students are expected to become highly proficient at research and completing the extended essay, explore their identities in fulfilling the CAS requirement, and better understand ways of understanding through the Theories of Knowledge course, otherwise known as TOK. The IB thus rigorously prepares students academically for university, but it also focuses on developing their identities and values, and on understanding different ways of learning. Number 2, similarities between the IB and the SAT. And advantages for IB students. Being completely honest, the IB and the SAT are 2 different species. However, they do share some common ancestors: content and literacy, and study preparation. Let's look at content and literacy. The language and literature course requires students to profoundly study their native language. This corresponds well with the SAT's reading and writing section's focus on grammar, punctuation, and literature. IB students take mathematics and sciences, which would surely cover a large percentage of the material needed to prepare for the SAT's math section. And the SAT's reading section may involve texts rooted in the social sciences, the natural sciences, and historical documents, which are also covered significantly in the other academic areas of the IBDP. In sum, IB students possess a huge advantage by default, as they will have covered much of the same content material required to excel on the SAT. Next, study preparation. IB students are inquisitive, curious, and passionate about their learning. They're expected to become distinguished students. So preparing for the SAT, in theory, should be interesting to them and perhaps come a little easier. The IB diploma program is academically rigorous. So these study habits that you develop over the 2 years can help you create a work ethic that will be successful for you in university and in your future career. So these same study habits and this work ethic can and should be used in preparing for your SAT. Also, the IB and the SAT expect students to be able to use learned information to be able to answer questions that include given information. Students are expected to apply theories and prior knowledge to a question they may not have been able to prepare for, or data or text they may have never read before. Thus, IB students will be well prepared for this approach. Therefore, there is significant overlap between both curricula, and IB students will hold an advantage on taking the SAT. But the SAT is not a summative IB exam. IB students intending on taking the SAT should become familiar with what additional content will be on the SAT exam in order for them to be fully prepared. And that brings us to today's final topic, number 3, any disadvantages for IB students appearing for SAT? The SAT, although focused on given information, requires students to know specific content. For instance, mathematical formulas and grammar. It's highly probable that IB courses will not include everything found on the SAT. So IB students have to learn and study any additional content that might be on the SAT and not in their IB courses. That's a disadvantage. Next, the IB is a global curriculum. The SAT was intended for American universities, so this may result in some discrepancies. For instance, the The United States uses the imperial system for measurement. Most IB countries use metric, so IB students should inquire if the questions in the math section of the SAT will use imperial. Same goes for Fahrenheit versus Celsius. This may prove difficult or disadvantageous for IB students. Lastly, with the extended essay and CAS requirements and compulsory subjects in the humanities and theories of knowledge, it can be argued that the IB curriculum tends to, on the whole, focus more on language than it does on math. This may be advantageous for IB students when they write the reading and writing section of the exam, but may prove disadvantageous when they write the math section of the exam. All right, so I hope that this video helped you get an idea of the advantages IB students will hold when writing the SAT. Also, to help you succeed, we've prepared an ebook for you, which contains all information relevant to the SAT. To download the SAT ebook, along with a number of other helpful SAT-related links, can be found in the description box down below. If you're facing any problems related to the SAT syllabus, feel free to connect with us. Remember, we're here to help you ace your exams. Lastly, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm Monsieur Valois. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and best of luck in your studies this year.